My daughter arrived to find me sitting in the dark. She immediately asked why there was no food in the house, reminding me that I receive an $8,000 pension each month. Before I could respond, my daughter-in-law stepped in confidently and stated that she controlled every dollar I received. What happened next left her stunned. The doorbell had rung at 2:15 on a Tuesday afternoon. I almost ignored it because standing up meant leaving the small, warm spot I'd made on the couch under 2 blankets and multiple sweaters. Warmth mattered these days. But the bell rang again. Sarah always rang twice, so I slowly made my way to the door. She stood there holding grocery bags, her face shifting from surprise to concern as she looked me over. She saw the loose sweaters, the way my jeans bunched even with a belt, and the hollowness in my cheeks that hadn't been there half a year ago. "Mom?" Her voice wasn't a question or accusation, just a word loaded with what she wasn't saying yet. I let her in, and she walked into the living room where the thermostat showed 58 degrees. She stared at it before turning back to me, her jaw tight in a way that reminded me of her father trying to stay calm. "Why is it this cold? It's 40 degrees outside. You could get sick." I opened my mouth to give the excuse I'd practiced, something about preferring cooler temperatures and saving money, but the words stopped when she walked into the kitchen. I heard the fridge open, followed by a sharp breath. She returned holding expired milk and a few ketchup packets. "Mom, where's your food?" "I have crackers, some rice," I said quietly. She pulled out her phone immediately, and I knew she was calling Michael before it even rang. "Sarah, what's wrong?" he answered. "What's wrong," she said, her voice rising, "is that Mom is sitting in a freezing house wearing layers with nothing in her refrigerator but condiments. That's what's wrong." I heard him sigh. "Look, Victoria handles Mom's finances now. It's easier this way. You know how Mom gets confused with bills." "Confused?" Sarah cut him off. "She worked as a bookkeeper for 30 years. Try again." The sound of heels on the floor signaled Victoria's arrival. She appeared in the doorway, smiling, something that made my stomach drop. She looked at Sarah, then me, then back at her. "Is there a problem?" she asked. "Yes," Sarah replied. "Why is my mother not eating? She gets an $8,000 pension monthly. That's more than enough." Victoria leaned casually against the door frame. "Someone has to manage that money responsibly. Your mother would waste it, and I'll consider it payment for allowing her to keep living in this house. Do you know what caregiving costs now?" The words lingered heavily, allowing me to stay in my own home, the one my husband and I had bought 40 years ago where I raised both my children. Sarah's face went blank, the expression she only wore once before in childhood when she defended her younger brother. "Mom," she said, eyes fixed on Victoria, "get your purse and coat." "Just a minute," Victoria said quickly. "She's not going anywhere. We have an arrangement." "An arrangement?" Sarah repeated. "Is that what we're calling elder abuse now?" Victoria's smile faltered. Only briefly, but we both saw it. I moved toward the closet, hands shaking, but Victoria blocked my path. That's when Michael appeared behind her, placing a hand on her shoulder. He gave me an apologetic expression that somehow made everything feel worse. "Mom, maybe you should just stay," he said. "Victoria's right, the money needs to be managed properly." "Managed?" Sarah's tone turned ice cold. "You mean taking someone's pension while she slows down from lack of food?" I had my coat on now. Sarah took my arm, guiding me toward the door. Victoria laughed. "You can't just take her," she said. "I have legal authority over her finances. She's not competent." "We'll see about that," Sarah replied. At the door, she turned to me, her voice low. "Mom, I need you to trust me for the next 3 months. Don't mention what we're about to do. Can you do that?" I nodded, not understanding fully, but sensing something irreversible had begun. Victoria kept talking behind us, justifying herself, but Sarah led me to her car. I realized I was shaking for a new reason now. My daughter had a plan, and Victoria had no idea. Sarah drove silently, glancing at me occasionally, gripping the wheel tightly. I wanted to ask where we were going, but the look on her face told me to wait. When she pulled into the emergency room parking lot at St. Mary's, I finally spoke. "Sarah, I don't need a hospital. I'm just tired." "When was your last full meal?" she asked quietly. "A real one, not crackers and rice." I couldn't remember. Days had blurred together since March. I eat enough, I said weakly. You're coming inside, she said gently. Please don't fight me. Inside, she checked me in. When the nurse asked why we were there, Sarah said I'd been dizzy and fatigued, which wasn't entirely untrue. They brought me back within 20 minutes. A young doctor examined me while a nurse took my vitals. When I stepped on the scale, I saw Sarah's expression tighten at the number, 104 pounds. I used to be 136. Mrs. Chin, the doctor said carefully, when did you begin losing weight? I just haven't been hungry, I said, though the truth was I was always hungry. Sarah showed him a photo of me from last Christmas, full cheeks and bright eyes. The contrast was painful. Blood work and tests were ordered. While waiting, a social worker named Patricia entered. Her gentle tone made something soften inside me. Your daughter mentioned you might be having difficulties at home. Would you feel comfortable talking about it? I looked at Sarah, who nodded. Then everything came out. Victoria controlling my pension, the empty fridge, stretching rice for weeks, and Michael doing nothing. Patricia listened quietly, taking notes. I cried for the first time in months. When the doctor returned, his expression was serious. Mrs. Chin, you're severely malnourished. Your vitamin levels are critically low. Your body is breaking down muscle to survive. Sarah documented everything. Screens, notes, assessments. Mom needs to be admitted, the doctor said. No, Sarah replied. She's coming home with me, but I need copies of everything. Patricia added, I'll be filing a report with Adult Protective Services. This is elder abuse. What you've experienced is a crime. The word crime settled heavily. I had always thought of it as my son making poor decisions or Victoria being controlling. Hearing it named changed something. 2 hours later, we left with records and prescriptions. Sarah drove me to a small bank to open a new account in only my name. We'll redirect part of your pension here, she said. Not enough for Victoria to notice yet, but this money is yours. That night, eating soup in her warm kitchen, Sarah opened her laptop. Mom, you need to see this. It was my home computer search history. Searches I never made, life expectancy calculator, elderly nutritional deficiency, how to become power of attorney, average time before inheritance distribution. The dates went back 2 years. 2 years of Victoria researching, planning, preparing. My hands shook. Sarah held them. We're going to fix this, Mom, but I need you to trust me. Can you? Yes, I whispered, whatever it takes. The next morning, Sarah made a phone call while I ate scrambled eggs at her kitchen table. Real eggs with butter and salt. My stomach had shrunk so much I had to pace myself. I overheard her discussing elder law, emergency consultation, and having documentation ready. After hanging up, she smiled, but there was steel behind it. We have an appointment at 11 with Robert Caldwell, an attorney specialising in cases like yours, she explained. Mr. Caldwell's office was downtown, in a brick building with polished wood floors and framed law degrees on the walls. He appeared younger than expected, perhaps in his 50s, with silver streaks through dark hair and eyes that quickly assessed everything, my weight loss, careful movements, and trembling hands. Mrs. Chin, he said, shaking my hand gently, Sarah has briefed me, but before discussing strategy, I need to establish one thing. Would you be willing to undergo cognitive testing? My stomach sank. You think there's something wrong with my mind? No, he said firmly. You are sound, but we need proof before your daughter-in-law can claim confusion or manipulation. We want to remove that argument entirely. The testing lasted 3 hours. Memory exercises, problem-solving, pattern recognition, and following complex instructions. I felt like I was back in school taking finals, palms sweating. When the results came, Mr. Caldwell smiled. Your cognitive function is excellent, better than average for your age group. Now, let's review what's been done to you. Sarah spread out bank statements. Mr. Caldwell's expression darkened, page by page. 2 years, he said finally. She's been systematically stealing from you, nearly $200,000. The number made my head spin. My pension, my savings, the money my husband and I had worked decades to secure. We'll bring in a forensic accountant, Mr. Caldwell continued. We will trace every dollar. Over 2 weeks, Jennifer Chin, no relation, examined every transaction. $3,000 purses, an $8,000 Hawaii vacation, restaurant dinners, all paid from the funds that should have kept me fed and warm. This is enough for criminal charges, Jennifer said quietly. Fraud, elder abuse, financial exploitation. Mr. Caldwell acted quickly, creating an irrevocable trust. My house, investments, life insurance, everything went into it, with Sarah as sole trustee. Victoria would have no access. I signed pages after pages, my hand shaking, Sarah steadying it. Each signature felt like reclaiming a part of myself. Seeing Michael's name next to a single dollar made my throat tighten. "Are you sure?" Mr. Caldwell asked. I thought of him standing silent while Victoria justified starving me. "I'm sure," I whispered. Sarah wasn't done gathering evidence. She drove me around, collecting statements from neighbours, my mail carrier, the pharmacy, everyone who had witnessed my struggles. Jerry, the mail carrier, noted when I searched recycling bins for bottles. Lisa at the pharmacy kept records of missed prescriptions. Even Mrs. Patterson next door had observed my frailty and the lights off at night to save electricity. "Everyone saw, Mom. Everyone knew," Sarah said. That night, Mr. Caldwell called. "Your assets are protected. Your will is updated. Documentation is complete. Now we wait for the right moment." I looked at Sarah on the couch, where I had been sleeping for 3 weeks, gaining strength slowly. "When will that be?" I asked. "Very soon," she said. The following Saturday, Sarah moved my belongings to her home. Her guest room was ready with fresh sheets and a small television. The house was warm, the fridge full. I sat on the bed and cried, relieved. "You're safe now, Mom," Sarah whispered. That afternoon, I ate a real lunch for the first time in months. A turkey sandwich, apple, glass of milk. My stomach cramped, but I didn't care. Sarah opened her laptop. "Mom, you need to see this. It's hard, but you must know. The search history on my computer wasn't mine. Life expectancy calculations, inheritance timelines, nutritional deficiencies, all going back 2 years. Victoria had been calculating how long I might live and planning access to my money." My hands shook again. Sarah held them firmly. "We'll fix this, Mom. Trust me?" "Yes," I whispered. "Whatever it takes." The next morning, she called an attorney while I ate, arranging consultation and preparing documentation for legal action. Mr. Caldwell's office confirmed he specialised in cases like mine. He explained that before confronting Victoria legally, we would document my mental clarity to prevent her from claiming manipulation. Cognitive testing confirmed my mind was fully sound. Bank statements, medical records, forensic accounting, all evidence compiled to ensure protection and justice. Over the next 2 weeks, Sarah and I worked with Mr. Caldwell and Jennifer, the forensic accountant, gathering every piece of evidence. Jennifer traced Victoria's purchases, $3,000 designer purses, an $8,000 Hawaii vacation, expensive restaurant bills, all while I survived on rice and crackers. "This is sufficient for criminal charges," Jennifer said quietly. "Fraud, elder abuse, financial exploitation." Mr. Caldwell moved swiftly, creating an irrevocable trust to protect my assets. My home, investments and life insurance were all placed under this trust, with Sarah as sole trustee. Victoria would have no access, no claim, no power. I signed document after document, my hands trembling, Sarah steadying my wrist. Each signature reclaimed a piece of what Victoria had tried to steal. Even seeing Michael's name listed with a single dollar beside it made my throat tighten. I remembered him silently approving Victoria's actions, ignoring my hunger and cold. "Are you certain?" Mr. Caldwell asked. I nodded. "I'm sure." Sarah wasn't finished. She collected statements from neighbours, my mail carrier and the pharmacy. Everyone who had observed signs of neglect provided documentation. Jerry, the mail carrier, had seen me searching recycling bins for bottles. And Lisa at the pharmacy had records of missed prescriptions. Mrs. Patterson had noticed my frailty and the lights off to save electricity. "Everyone saw, Mom. Everyone knew," Sarah said. Finally, everything was in place. Mr. Caldwell confirmed. My assets were secure, my will updated, documentation completed. "Now we wait for the right moment," he said. That Saturday, Sarah moved the last of my belongings into her house. Her guest bedroom was warm, soft sheets on the bed, a stocked refrigerator, and food I could eat freely. I sat on the bed and cried. "You're safe now, Mom," Sarah whispered. That afternoon, I ate a proper meal for the first time in months. A turkey sandwich, lettuce and tomato, an apple, a glass of milk. My stomach cramped from richness, but I didn't care. Sarah opened her laptop. "Mom, you need to see this. It's difficult, but necessary." She showed me the search history on my computer, revealing Victoria's 2-year plan. Life expectancy calculations, inheritance timelines, and elder abuse indicators. My hands shook violently. Sarah held them firmly. "We will fix this, Mom. You trust me?" "Yes," I whispered, "whatever it takes." The following morning, Sarah arranged a consultation with Mr. Caldwell while I ate. The attorney confirmed he specialized in cases like mine and outlined the strategy. The first step was cognitive testing to demonstrate my mental clarity, eliminating any claims of manipulation. Testing confirmed my cognitive function was above average for my age. Next, the bank statements, medical records, and forensic accounting reports were compiled to ensure that Victoria's exploitation was fully documented. Every dollar she took, every neglectful act, and every malicious plan was recorded. With all evidence prepared, the legal case was ready. Victoria had no access to my assets, no ability to interfere, and no credible defense. Sarah and I had reclaimed control over my life and my finances. The legal strategy was executed with precision. Certified letters, forensic reports, and medical documentation were delivered to Victoria and Michael. Within days, Victoria began to panic. Her threats, aggressive calls, and texts were met with calm, documented responses from Sarah. When she arrived at Sarah's house demanding access, Sarah explained clearly the pension was redirected to a secure account entirely under my control. Victoria's claims of legal authority were invalid. She had never possessed genuine power of attorney. Michael tried to intervene, but even he could not justify 2 years of neglect and financial exploitation. Sarah calmly presented medical evidence, my weight loss, vitamin deficiencies, and forensic accounting reports showing nearly $200,000 stolen. Victoria's search history, tracking my life expectancy and inheritance, left no doubt about intent. Victoria's initial arrogance dissolved into desperation. Threats became pleas. The forensic accountant's itemized report of her purchases, vacations, and luxury spending documented everything. Michael, witnessing the full truth, realized the gravity of his inaction and manipulation. He eventually filed for divorce. Victoria served 3 years in state prison with good behavior and was ordered to repay $500,000 in restitution. She now works a minimum wage job and continues to pay off her debt. Michael received $1 from the trust. Sarah and I retained control. I regained stability and health. Under Sarah's care, I gained weight, ate proper meals, and rebuilt my life. I also became an advocate for elder abuse prevention, helping others recognize and report financial exploitation. The greatest victory was survival and purpose. By sharing my story, I transformed my pain into empowerment, protecting vulnerable seniors and exposing exploitation. The public recognition came through a news segment which encouraged others to speak up. Even Michael sought reconciliation, asking for forgiveness. I reminded him that some betrayals cannot be undone, and I chose to protect myself first. Sarah and I now live safely in a house purchased with part of the trust. My estate is carefully planned, half to Sarah, half to charities that protect seniors, ensuring my resources cannot be misused again. The final message is clear. Justice may take time, but persistence, evidence, and support can reclaim power from those who exploit the vulnerable. Surviving, speaking out, and helping others became the ultimate triumph. If you found strength in this story, subscribing and joining the community allows you to hear more stories of resilience, justice, and redemption. The lesson remains: it is never too late to reclaim your power and protect what is rightfully yours.